Terach hid baby Avram in an underground cave for 13 years.
The gods will watch over you.
In the cave, his mother, Amtalai, would bring him food and drink every month, and would either stay with him or leave a maid to stay with him. Little Avram grew up a child who only knew the world of Hashem's beautiful trees, plants, animals, birds, and insects. He was surrounded by valleys and mountains, forests and lakes. Though he was alone and did not mix with people or visit any towns, Avram loved his world. Avram spent hours and hours, sometimes days and days, just sitting and watching the beauty of the extraordinary world around him. He would lie on the ground, look up at the sun, the stars, the moon, the sky. The more he watched the birds fly, the more he watched the ants carry food to store for the winter, the more he watched the sunrise and sunset, the more he stared at the moon and stars in the night sky, the more he would think and think about how this world came to be. He would spend hours watching a spider spin its web and wait for the spider to catch its lunch or supper, a fly or some other flying insect. Avram would sit and stare at waterfalls, at the rain and the clouds. He would watch the wind blow the leaves. Everything, absolutely everything he saw made him ask the same questions again and again. Can you guess the questions he asked himself? Listen to what he was asking inside his mind. I wonder what makes the wind blow? What makes the sun come up in the morning, rising higher and higher, and then makes it go down later in the day till it disappears? What makes the moon keep changing its shape and position in the night sky? What makes the rain come down? How does the rain get inside the cloud? Where does the water that comes out the ground come from? Who created all this? Who made me? Why am I in this world? What am I supposed to do while I'm here? Avram did not stop asking questions, and neither would he stop searching for the answers. At first, he told himself, I have decided the earth must be God, and it was the earth that created me and everything. It seems that every part of the universe I look at seems to serve planet Earth. From the night sky, it looks as though all the planets go around Earth, and the sun gives Earth light and warmth. The rain gives Earth water, and then the Earth feeds us with all these beautiful fruits, delicious vegetables and grains that grow from the Earth. It must be the Earth that is the real, true Creator God. So Avram sang songs, and he prayed to the Earth. But the more he thought about this, the more he began to doubt his decision. He said to himself, perhaps the earth is not so powerful, because without rain and sunshine, it cannot give its food from the soil. I've changed my mind. I've decided the sun must be God, and the sun must have created me and the world. This makes the most sense because the sun gives warmth to the world and the sun gives light to the world. The sun makes water turn into vapor, like a gas, and it rises in the sky and becomes clouds. And then the clouds drop the water back down. So without the sun, there would be no life on earth. Yes, it must be the sun that created the world and me. Actually, the more I think about it, the more clear it is that the sun creates everything. I notice how rainfall helped grass grow. Then the sheep eat the grass, and then the sheep grow woolen fur, and we cut that and make woolen clothes. So even our woolen clothes come from the sun. I also notice how the goats and cows eat the grass, and then they give us milk to drink. So even the milk exists because of the sun. The sun is really the true creator God. And so Avram prayed and worshipped the sun. He bowed down to it every day and prayed to the sun and sang songs of praise to the sun. After a while, Avram became confused. He was no longer sure about the sun. I've been thinking, if the sun is really God, then why does it disappear at night and no longer have any light? All its light and warmth has just gone. Maybe it really is not so powerful. I'm wondering, could the moon be the real God? But if the moon was God, why does it disappear at the start of each day? Perhaps wind is the real God. Perhaps it is the wind that blows the sun and moon around and round. After all, I've been watching how the wind blows the rain clouds all away from the sea and the oceans, and then it blows the rain down to the earth. And then food grows from the earth because the wind blows the seeds away from the trees until they land on the ground, where rain blown from the clouds gives water for the seeds to grow. You know what? I'm sure it must be the wind who is truly in charge of all these other powers. But after a while, Avram decided it must be the mountains that are the real gods, because the winds have no power over the mountains. He thought about this for days and days. The days turned into weeks, the weeks turned into many months. And still, Avram kept wondering about the answers to his questions, until he finally figured out the real answer. Avram was only 3 years old when he finally came to the greatest discovery of his life. And this time, he was sure. This time there would be no more doubts, not even the smallest doubt at all. Now he knew the real truth. There is one invisible power giving power to all the other powers. Once upon a time, there was a young boy lost in a deep, deep forest. He searched for a way out for a very long time. Finally, he found a path and followed it. Indeed, the path led him to a very large area, and the boy just stood there at the end of the path and stared up at the most beautiful sight. In front of him was an amazing garden filled with thousands of different colored flowers and plants, different shaped trees, and the grass all around was carefully cut. The path he was walking on led him through this beautiful garden. Every few hundred feet, there was a lovely stone bench next to a water fountain for drinking. The boy thought to himself, how kind of the owner of this garden to make a bench and water fountain for travelers like myself to rest and drink. He continued down the path till he stopped again and saw another amazing sight. A huge palace with giant pillars and a roof of many colors. The young boy walked toward the palace. He saw that lights were on inside the palace. He was so happy. At last, he had found his way out of the confusion of the forest. He could not wait to meet the master of the palace and its beautiful grounds. He wanted to tell the owner what a beautiful garden he has, and most of all, to thank him for the benches, the water fountains, and the joy of such pretty flowers and trees. The front door to the palace was open. The boy peeked inside and was shocked yet again at what he saw. Obviously, a king lives here. He saw inside it was decorated with the most amazing tapestries and carpets. The furniture was carefully carved from the best possible wood. The bright chandeliers hanging from the ceiling were also decorated with amazing detail. The boy called out, "Who lives here? Who's the owner? I would love to meet you." But as much as he called out, there was no answer. He continued to call out, but still no answer. The boy knew there had to be an owner. Someone had to have designed all the beauty and detail of the gardens and the palace. Can you guess what this story really means? Can you guess who the boy in this story really is? Yes, it's Avram. And what is the garden and palace a mashal for? Oh, that's right. The garden and palace is like this beautiful world, with all its mountains, valleys, rivers, ocean, trees, colorful flowers and plants, animals, birds and fish. And who made the garden and the palace? Oh, that's right. Hashem. Hashem is the owner of the palace. After Avram searched and searched for the answers to his questions, he finally realized there was one master over all the world. Just like the garden and the palace are really owned by one king, and that one king has many servants to take care of his garden and take care of his palace. But all those servants work for the same master, the king of the palace. Now I understand. It is true that the sun is a power, and so is the wind, and the rain and gravity, but all of them are working together in serving the real master and king. They all receive their power from one invisible creator God, and he is making everything work. He gives fish the power to live underwater. He gives birds the power to fly in the sky. He gives the sun power to give heat and light. He gives wind the power to blow. Avram was so excited when he discovered this, even though he was just a young child. He could not stop thanking this one creator God, the one power of all powers. And he decided the right name to call God was Adon, which means master, because Hashem is the master of the entire universe. Avram was the first person to call Hashem the name Adon Master. We will continue to call him Hashem.